So Mark, I think that's a nice summary of kind of the background and the kind of the power of the joint offering for our clients.
Good, thank you.
We do
Laura,
have a couple of questions, Mark. If it's a good time to ask, just let me know.
please.
Okay, so one question that's come in, with the automated substitutions workflow that Acadia's just released into production, will it interact with the validation functionality, basically, and that's with the new service that we've just been speaking about? So will the new substitutions functionality interact with the validation service?
Yeah, the validation service is validating in terms of what has taken place. So it's looking at that settled and allocated positions. So as a result of doing substitutions, you would have that would then result in new positions, which would then be validated against the agreement rules. I would say the ability to kind of use those validations on sort of more of an intraday perspective, which could be then used within substitutions and checking. That's a natural progression of where this service can go. So the initial capability is sort of focused on that end of day validation, but the checks that we're doing, you could bring in more into an intraday process as well, which could be the margin calls or substitution process.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just another question just before we carry on with the panel. What does it mean from an information security perspective that the Transend engine runs within the Acadia infrastructure?
Todd or Richard, you want to take those? Or
I mean, I think the significant piece there is around the adoption of this service, right? So by hosting the Transend service within the Acadia data centers, is also going through all of the sort of the information security checks that we take place. So in terms of this as a service, the collateral validation service is an extension of any existing relationship that our clients have with Acadia. So in terms of then adopting this is really sort of, it's more an add-on to what you've already done. So from that point of view of, if you were doing this independently, you would have to be checking a new service for all of those information security checks and so on. So we've done it this way so that you can get up and running. It's an extension of what we have, and you don't have to worry as much about those independent checks. So the time to adoption is a lot faster by taking this approach. Plus,
I can see it's a good question. It's an interesting question because, as you said, I think it's a benefit ultimately, right? Because you don't have to, if you don't do business with Transend yet, then you don't need to onboard them, right? Because they're already in our infrastructure. They're subject to the standards that we have in place, which meet ISO 2022 or whatever it is. But it makes sense that it's an accelerant, not a delay.
Yeah, I agree, Mark and Richard. We want to make it as easy as possible for clients, and so having it hosted in the same data, the same infrastructure, under the same protocols, and under what's already been reviewed by clients from an information security was really important. And so hopefully it makes it a very seamless adoption process for clients as they look to add the validation service.
Okay, great.